Ah, Python, the most charming of serpents. Oi, not that kind of Python. Ah, Python, the most charming of serpents, yet the most powerful of tools for a cybersecurity professional. Welcome to the world of Python for cybersecurity, where this seemingly simple programming language transforms into a digital Excalibur slicing through the complexities of the cyber world. Now you might be wondering, why Python for cybersecurity? Allow me to explain. Python isn't just another programming language. It's the Swiss Army knife of the tech world. Whether you're automating tasks, analyzing data, or probing the depths of network vulnerabilities, Python has got you covered. Its simplicity and versatility make it an essential skill in the cybersecurity toolkit. Now a quick disclaimer, I'm no Python guru, but I've picked up enough tricks along the way to help you navigate the perilous waters of cybersecurity. My goal? To take you, dear beginner, on a journey through Python, one bite at a time, and arm you with the knowledge you need to excel in the field. Today we'll start with the very basics. Strings, not the kind you tie up with, but the kind you use to manipulate data, extract information, and communicate with your computer. So let's dive in and see how this simple concept forms the foundation of more complex cybersecurity tasks. Before we dive into the glorious world of Python strings, let's make sure we're all on the same page, or should I say the same OS. Python is best experienced on a Linux-based system, so if you're not already working with one, I strongly recommend getting a Linux distro like Kali or Parrot OS. Now the good news is that Python 3 usually comes pre-installed on most Linux systems, so you're already set up and ready to go. No need to worry about installing it manually. Just open your terminal and you're good to start coding. With Python 3 ready, we can move on to our trusty text editor, Gedit. If it's not already installed, worry not, we can easily take care of that next in the terminal. In your terminal, simply type the following command to install Gedit: sudo apt install Gedit. Hit enter and let the magic of Package Manager do the rest. Once Gedit is installed, we're ready to start coding. With Gedit installed, it's time to create a cozy little space for our Python magic. We'll start by making a new directory where we'll store our scripts. Let's call it something clever, like, I don't know, Python scripts. In your terminal, type the following command to create the directory: make dir Python scripts. Now, let's confirm that our new directory exists by listing all the directories in the current location with the ls command. ls, you should see Python scripts in the list. If you don't, well, maybe it's time to consult your nearest Oracle or check for typos. Now let's step into the newly created directory with the cd command. cd Python scripts. Right, here's where the fun begins. Let's create our first Python file using gedit. We'll call it first.py because, well, it's our first Python file. Gedit first.py. And there we go. Gedit will open up and you have a blank canvas ready for your first masterpiece in Python. Before we start typing away, there's something important we need to take care of. In Gedit, head over to the three dots in the top right corner. Then navigate to the preferences. From there, go to fonts and colors and select the cobalt blue color scheme. Why cobalt blue, you ask? Well, this color scheme makes it much easier to visualize your code. The contrast between the text and background reduces eye strain and helps you spot syntax and errors more quickly. It's like giving your code a fresh pair of eyes, one that's less likely to miss a thing. Alright, cyber warriors, now that our gedit is looking sharp, the first thing we'll do in our shiny new first.py file is add this little piece of magic. Shebang, which is your hashtag and the exclamation mark /bin/python3. Now you might be wondering, what on earth is that? Well, let me break it down for you. This line, known as the shebang, tells our system two things. First, it's a signal to say, hey, this is a script, and I want it executed with Python 3. Secondly, it ensures that when we run this script directly from the terminal, our system knows to use Python 3 interpreter. It's like giving your script a VIP pass, ensuring it's treated just the way it should be. Without this, you'd have to manually specify Python 3 every time you run the script. An extra step would rather avoid. Alright, with our first.py file open and ready, let's dive into our first piece of Python code. Type the following line with me. Print, open parenthesis, single quote, hello cyber warriors, close quote, close parenthesis. But here's a fun fact. Python allows you to use either single or double quotes for string. So if you're feeling adventurous, you can also write it as follows. Just make sure you use the same type of quote within a single string to avoid confusion. Mixing and matching quotes in the same string is like trying to blend pineapple with pizza. Just doesn't work out well. Now, to keep our code neat and our intentions clear, let's add some comments. In Python, comments are marked with a hashtag. They don't affect how the code runs, but serve as helpful notes for you and anyone else reading your code. For the single quote version, add this comment, hashtag single quotes. And for the double quote version, add hashtag double quotes. These comments are like little reminders, making sure you remember what each part of your code is doing. It's a great practice for keeping things organized and understanding your code later on. Fantastic, we've written our code, and now it's time to serve and run it. First, let's save our script in Gedit. Go ahead and click on the save button. Once that's done, you can close Gedit and return to your terminal. Back in the terminal, we're going to run our script and see our Python magic in action. Type the following command, python3 first.py. Hit enter and you should see the messages hello cyber warriors appear twice right there in the terminal. It's like a digital high five from Python. If you encounter any issues or messages don't appear, double check your script for typos or consult your nearest tech oracle. And there you have it. Your first Python script is up and running. You're now officially a Python programmer, ready to take on more coding adventures. Let's dive back into editing it. To reopen first.py with Gedit, use the following command, gedit first.py, followed by an ampersand. The ampersand at the end of the code is like a magic spell that lets Gedit run in the background. This way your terminal remains free for other commands and you don't have to keep closing and reopening your editor every time you want to make changes. So go ahead, add that ampersand and open your file. It's time to enhance your script and keep coding without interruption. Alright, let's delve into the world of scripting concatenation. String concatenation is just a fancy way of saying sticking strings together. Let's look at a simple example. In your first.py file, add the following line of code. Print, open parenthesis, open quote, data is gold. This code combines the two strings data is and gold in one cohesive string. Data is gold. Notice that we put a space after data is. This space ensures that there's a gap between data is and gold when they combined. Without it, the words would run together like data is gold, which is not quite as readable. Now let's try another example. Let's type in the following. In this case, we've used a space to add a space between data is and gold. This will correctly produce the string data is gold as we've explicitly added a space to separate the words. Experiment with these examples to see how Python handles string concatenation. It's a useful skill for combining text and making for your output look just right. Now save your first.py script and back in our terminal, press the up arrow to view the last command, python3 first.py, to run your code, and boom, our code is looking good. Next, let's explore how to print text on a new line. To do this, we'll use the small letter n escape sequence, which tells Python to start a new line. Add the following line to your first.py file. Print, open parenthesis, open quote, lowercase n, close quote, close parenthesis. This simple line of code will ensure that the next piece of code you write will appear on a new line in the terminal output. It's like giving your output a fresh start. Now let's play with repetition in strings. To do this, we use the asterisk operator to repeat a string multiple times and these lines to your script. Let's type the following. This line of code will print Cyber Ninja 3 times in a row. It's a great way to quickly repeat text without writing it out multiple times. Now the same can be done for characters. Let's type the following. This will print 10 asterisks in a row. Adding the hashtag repetition comment helps remind us what this line is doing. Save your code in Gedit and then head back to your terminal. Run your updated script with Python3 first.py. You should see your text printed with the new line and repetitions as described. Enjoy experimenting with string manipulations in Python. Well done, cyber heroes. You've just dipped your toe into the world of Python and look at you, already manipulating strings like a pro. From creating your first Python script to mastering the art of concatenation and repetition, you've made great strides. Python might seem like a humble language at first glance, but remember, it's a powerful tool in your cybersecurity arsenal. Like a skilled hacker with a Swiss Army knife, you can automate, analyze, and probe to your heart's content. Before we wrap up, here's a challenge. Try combining strings in more creative ways and see what you can come up with. Maybe a message that speaks directly to your inner cyber ninja, or a quirky string that represents your favorite cybersecurity tool. Share your results in the comments below or tag us with with #BlaxploitNetwork. Stay tuned for our next adventure where we'll dive even deeper into the coding abyss. Until then, keep coding, keep exploring, and remember, Python is your digital Excalibur. Wield it wisely. Catch you in the next video. Happy hacking!